Hello, Satar. Nasaan yung iba? Jeffrey and Satar. Nasaan yung iba? Tatlo pa lang tayo. Yasin. Apat lang tayo. O sige, start na tayo ha. Start na tayo. Nandiyan na ba kayo, Satar? Yasin? Yasin? Jeffrey? Jeffrey?
Sir, sir.
Satar? Satar? Satar?
Hello po,
Satar?
sir.
Ayan, sige. Share screen na tayo ha. Share screen ako ha. Sino yung dumating? Si Hannah Lou Galosmo. Okay. Share screen ako ha. Share screen. Okay. So before we start week 6, I just would like to remind everybody, Satar, pakisabihan nga sila, tsaka si Yasin. Satar, mag-ano nga? Satar,
Yes, sir. Yes.
pwede mong sabihan yung iba? Performance
Ano,
task? Ba't ka ba naka-loudspeaker?
sino po, sir?
Ikaw, Satar.
Ako, sorry, sir. Hindi ko kasi marinig, sir, eh. Okay na po.
Okay. Yung week 1, performance task. Week 1, performance task. Tapos week 2, written work. Tapos week 3, long quiz. Week 4, performance task. Tapos week 5, long quiz. Okay, pakisagutan na. Yasin and Satar, mag-post nga kayo.
Copy po.
Paki mag mag-post nga kayo, Yasin and sa TARP sa ano natin sa community engagement na GC. Pakisagutan yung performance task, written work, long quiz, performance task tsaka long quiz. Sige nga mag-post nga kayo.
Long quiz 2. Hindi pa pala ako tapos sa long quiz 2.
Antayin ko yung post nyo ha. Sabihin nyo pakisagutan. Pakisagutan. Ang dali lang ako magta-type. Wait lang ha. Para hindi na nila makalimutan. Okay, 5 na tayo. Hasmin, okay. Yasin, pwede ka ba mag-attendance? Yasin,
Okay po.
mag-attendance ka tapos isend mo. Anong section ka ba?
12B po.
Ilagay mo community engagement. Date today, January 11, 2021. Sir Franco. Tapos pangalan yung apat. Okay, tapos send mo
Sige
na.
po.
Okay, start na tayo ha. Okay. So if last meeting we've talked about the civil society, week 6. Nakikita ba yung screen ko sa TAR? Jeffrey?
Opo, sir.
Okay, PowerPoint tayo ha. Okay, pakibasa nga Jeffrey. Jeffrey Chavez. Jeffrey?
Challenge those empowered by documenting
Ulit, simulan mo.
data structure, a vibrant civil society can challenge those empowered by documenting corruption or uncovering activities like the murder of political enemies.
Okay, in democracies,
In democracies, this function is mostly performed by the media, NGOs, or opposition parties. Agency Morozov.
okay. Sino yung dyan? Okay, so thank you, Jeffrey. So, remember, as a vibrant civil society, as what we have discussed before, in the Philippine setting, mostly siya, Yasin. Yasin. Pag sinabi nating civil society, mostly siya.
Sir?
Mostly yung civil
Mostly
society?
mga NGO, non-government.
Non-government organization. What is the purpose, Yasin, of the civil society? Yung minention mo
It's
last week.
sir, to balance the power between the national government and the non-government.
Okay, non-government organization and the government organization. So, mm. Okay, so pakibasa nga yung first paragraph. Sino ba tong isa pa nating kasama? Hanalu Galosmo. Hanalu, pakibasa nga yung first paragraph. Social status. Hana Galosmo. Galosmo. Wala siya. Wala. Pakibasa nga, Yasin. Social status is all about... Yasin.
Social status is all about dynamic of individual identity relative to its environment. This interaction between the self and the community equates to individual status in said setting.
A role,
Sir, tuloy ko po.
Tuloy mo. A role is a set of defined.
A role in a set of defined and expected behavior or norms that is ascribed to certain social status. We all have our roles in our communities. We are perceived by others around us as more than just another pile of flesh and bone, but as an individual that is and reinforced of even altered by who we play our roles. One individual may have several statuses depending on the community or location he or she is in. Thus, the individual has the constant choice to reduce his or her role to break the pattern as he or she is in. Thus, the individual has places. However, this choice, whether to pursue, reinforce, or completely alter one's status, defines the individual in the community. If a person acts against the will or laws of a collective, he or she risks losing the benefits, rights, and networks that the community grants to its members.
Okay, thank you, Yasin. Okay, social status is all about our responsibilities in the society. So, perfect example would be, me as a teacher and you as a student. Your duties and obligation is to study your lesson, to pass all the necessary requirements, while my responsibility or my teacher as a status in the society is tasked to relay or to teach lessons to students. O ganun. Iba-iba tayo ng iba-iba tayo ng responsibilidad, iba-iba tayo ng papel sa ating lipunan. Ang tawag natin doon social status. Okay? So you may improve. You may improve your status, di ba? Susunod, hindi na kayo senior high school student. Susunod college student na kayo. O minsan pwede ako maging teacher pero sa susunod baka pwede akong maging department head or principal in the future, di ba? Whether to pursue, to reinforce or to alter one's status defines the individual in that community. Pero, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen sa TAR kapag may nilabag kang batas? May nilabag kang batas. Ano mangyayari sa responsibility mo? Ano mangyayari sa
Ano, sir?
kapag may nilabag kang batas, ano mangyayari?
Siyempre, sir, may karampatang punishment po yun.
Okay, you will lose all the benefits. You will lose all the benefits of what? Of a yung malaya, you will be deprived of your liberty. Mabuhay ng malaya, to exercise your status, kasi may nilabag kang batas, you have to pay for it. Okay, next. Theoretical perspective of functionalism. Let's talk about, Hasmin, pakibasa nga. Hasmin, according to French sociologist, Hasmin, hindi pa rin natin marinig si Hasmin. Okay. Si Hana, pwede na ba si Hana? Ay, andyan na pala si Beatrice. Beatrice, pakibasa nga. According to French sociologist, Beatrice.
According to French sociologist Emily ano ba pronunciation? Durkheim, there is a glaring difference how we look at individuals and collectives. There is also difference. There is also conceptual difference between looking into the individuals and studying groups of people or communities. Durkheim establishes that what is true to an individual may not be used as a generalization in describing the society he or she is in. In the same light, one cannot generalize that the characteristics of the society as a whole will also be true to its member. Instead, there is what he calls a collective.
Tuloy mo, Beatrice. Collective
consciousness that exists within these groups of people. This can be seen in customs and beliefs that emanate with each other.
Okay, thank you, Beatrice. Beatrice, paki-asikaso yung attendance. Same procedure. Hindi mo lang nilagyan ng date kanina tsaka ng pangalan ko. Isesend mo lang siya sa community engagement subject. Okay, ako na magsesend sa ABNC. Okay, class. Kahit iba-iba tayo ng class, kahit magkakasama tayo sa isang lugar, sa isang barangay, sa isang syudad, sa isang bansa, we have different sets of customs and belief. Okay, dahil iba-iba tayo, magkakaiba tayo ng paraan ng pamumuhay. Iba't iba tayong paniniwala, iba't ibang relihiyon, iba't ibang tradisyon. Okay. These recognized patterns of behavior are an indication of social integration among members of the group. It means na kahit iba-iba tayo, class, nag-i-integrate yung behavior natin, yung mga personalities natin. Kahit magkakaiba tayo, pwede tayong magsama-sama as a group. The communal behavior that exists between this group compounds and work together as a harmonized entity that embodies the perspective of functionalism. Functionalism, class, as theory of community engagement, talks about that every individual in the society has a function. Pwede kang maging parent, tatay, nanay, You can be a wife or a husband. You can be a son or a daughter. You can be a grandfather or a grandmother. You can be an aunt or whatever. You can be a teacher. You can be a student. Each and every member of the society has its function. Okay? Each part, both directly and indirectly, influences the total function of the machine. Iba-iba man tayo ng paniniwala at ng paraan ng pamumuhay, it helps in what? To influence the total function of the machine. Ano yung machine? Yun yung ating society. Okay? Conflict theory naman tayo. Sa TAR, conflict theory, pakibasa.
Conflict theory, this perspective was created by Karl Marx, the famous author of Das Kapital and one of the fathers of communism. Central to Marx's analysis of our society is how he sees that almost everything starts with economics. Marx proposes that there is a class conflict from the haves and have-nots. In his writings, he calls out the struggle of the proletariat or the working class from the bourgeois, bourgeoisie or the owners of trade or means of production. The working class is the workers that will earn their wages. Marx uses the term for industrial workers, which during times were the only means for an individual to earn within the capitalist structure. Marx considers the bourgeoisie as the primary enemy of the people due to the exploitation that is inherent in the system.
Okay. Thank you, Satar. Thank you, Satar. So, conflict theory naman, kasi yung functionalism, we all have different functions. Sa conflict theory naman, society or community is divided into two, the have and the have-nots. Yung meron tsaka yung wala. Yung mahirap tsaka yung mayaman. Yung may-ari tsaka yung mga trabahador. Yung boss tsaka yung mga employee. Okay, yung mga bourgeoisie at ang working class. Okay, ganun naman inilarawan ni Karl Marx. That's how Karl Marx discussed conflict theory. Okay? Okay, what about alienation for? Ito, pakibasa nga ito. Okay, these are the different arguments presented by Karl Marx that talks about what? That talks about class struggle through various aspects of alienation against the workers. Ano ba yung mga challenges na kinakaharap ng mga working class? Pakibasa nga uli, Yasin. Alienation from production. Alienation from production. Yasin?
Sir,
Alienation from production.
alienation from productions. A worker simply produce. Alienation from process. A worker does not control his or her time, nor his or her way of doing things. Alienation from others. A worker is judged on the performance of others, which creates unwanted competition from his or her peers. Alienation from the self. A worker is seen as just another worker in the factory line.
Okay, thank you, Yasin. So these are the different argument that talks about the challenges faced by a worker. Diba? He needs to time in on time, to time out on time. He doesn't have control about his time. Okay. He is just seen as another worker, kayang-kayang palitan anytime. O, di ba? Merong sariling batas sa company, yun yung dapat niyang sundin, including yung oras. At ginajudge siya base sa kanyang performance. Okay? Kaya nagkakaroon ng competition between himself at yung mga katrabaho niya. Okay? So, yun yung ano natin. Ang tawag natin doon ay ay conflict theory ni Karl Marx. Siya yung author ng Das Kapital who talked about the society divided into two, the rich and the poor, the haves and the have-nots, the master and the workers. Okay, next. Symbolic interactionism. Beatrice, ikaw uli. Beatrice, a society.
A society and its core characteristics are, in itself, a product of the ongoing consensus held by the members of the commune. Symbolic interactionism takes itself away from the other theories and perspectives as it does not look into primary social institution as the main variable of study but rather looks into individuals, their histories, and the perspectives. According to 20th century American philosopher George Herb Mead, individuals see the things differently and their view depends on their own meaning derived from their experiences, interaction from people, and the learnings they gain from the amalgamated experiences through a course of time.
Okay, so symbolic interactionalism, okay, takes a look or gives focus to individuals. Okay? Okay, so each individual in a society is an essential component of what a society is. Okay, of what a society is. Okay, bawat individual ng isang lipunan, bawat member ng society is considered what? Different from others. Okay? It depends on their experiences, their points of views, ano pa, tsaka yung mga experience na nagain nila through time that makes them a unique individual or a unique person. Okay, next. Pakibasa nga ito. Meron na tayo. 7 na tayo kanina. Sino yung pumasok? Next, Satar. Mead's theory of symbolic interactionism. Satar. Mead's.
The theory of symbolic interactionism can be summed up in three main points. Number one, meaning can be different from each person, depending on his or her history, knowledge, and ongoing experience. Number two, the meaning in itself can change and will inevitably change. Number three, action or reaction may be different depending on how the person sees the meaning.
Okay, thank you. Yung symbolic interactionalism is all about what? How a person as a member of a society views his experiences in relation to his action and reaction. It depends on how he view things. That's how his actions are influenced. Okay? Kung kanina working class, yung kanina naman sa function, ngayon naman we are viewed as what? As a unique individual. We are different in action, reaction, history, ongoing experiences, and we are also have different knowledge or background. Next. It's all philosophy. Social structures. Okay, social structures. Okay. Okay, social structures, pakibasa nga. Sino pa yun nandyan? Jeffrey, nandyan ka pa ba? Jeffrey?
Opo, sir.
Okay, social structures.
Social structures. Society is composed of various intermingling structures that continually make interaction, those creating meanings that center on people. The structures created make up a set of values that stem for the collective consciousness of individuals. This goes to show that society itself is a social construction or an idea that we have conjured up as a community and believed to be true, thus creating a pattern which we agree upon and reinforce daily. A social structure therefore pertains to to the interrelations of behaviors, roles, and statuses which constitute a stable network of social interaction and relations.
Okay, thank you, Jeffrey. So, madali lang intindihin tong social structure. It means that in a society, we may have different functions or different roles, but itong role na to, class, nag-i-intertwine. Nag-i-intertwine. Let's talk about COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccine. Sige nga, sa TAR, ano-ano mga agency ng government ang involved sa COVID-19 vaccine? Sa TAR. Magbibigay ako ng isa, ha. DOH. Ano pa? Yung involved. DOH. Ano pa?
United Nations.
United Nations. World Health Organization. Ano pa? Department of Foreign Affairs. Ano pa? Ano pa yung mga agency na involved?
FDA.
Ano yung DA?
FDA po, Food and Drug
Okay,
Administration.
FDA, Food and Drug Administration. Okay, these are different, magkakaibang ano yan, magkakaibang agency. Pero kapag sa isang pagkakataon, nag-i-intertwine, nagsasama-sama sila in order to give service to the society or to the people of the society. Perfect example would be the different government organizations here and abroad that works against or that works together for us to be provided vaccine for COVID-19. Ang tawag natin doon, class, social structure. Okay, political structure has always been established as one of the main cogs that influence over institution. Politics is all about power, governance, administration, and decision making. It is somewhat the rope that binds all communities and societies together. A political structure is defined not just by the government, but also by groups, other institutions, pressure groups, social movements, and people as part of the political landscape. The interactions between the political system and other actors result in policy recommendations and adjustment that have indirect implications in our lives. That have direct implications in our lives. Ano ba yung tatlong branches ng government sa TAR? Sa TAR, ano yung tatlong branches ng government? Sa TAR. Sa TAR, ano yung tatlong branches ng government? We have the executive branch, the legislative branch,
Legislative and the judiciary.
and the judiciary branch. Okay, judiciary, yung hukuman, our legislative, the Congress and the Senate, the executive, which is the president. Okay? So all of this together with, anong tawag natin dun sa mga non-government organization? Anong tawag natin?
Civil society.
Okay, together with civil society group, they provide us, the Philippines, its political landscape. Okay? It's all about power. Kung sino ang may power, siya yung matatawag nating part ng political landscape ng isang lugar o ng isang bansa. Ayan. So ito, pakibasa nyo. What about barangay? Okay, creation of barangay as a political unit. It's in our constitution. Okay? In the Philippines, ang basic political system natin, maswerte tayo kasi wala atang ganito sa ibang bansa eh. Sa Philippines, meron tayong tinatawag na barangay. Okay? Meron tayong tinatawag na barangay. Okay. Section 384, Section 385. Okay, ng Constitution natin. Section 386. A barangay may be created out of a contiguous territory which has a population of at least 2,000 inhabitants. O dapat daw yung isang barangay umabot siya ng mga at least 2,000 inhabitants o 2,000 mga mamamayan. Okay? 386. Territorial jurisdiction. Di ba kaya tayo may barangay number? Anong barangay niya, Yasin? Yasin, anong barangay niya?
704.
Zone?
704.
District?
77.
District?
5.
District 5. Saan banda yung district?
5.
Saan kayo banda, Yasin? Baseco?
Malapit po sa Quirino.
Ah,
Sa may Manila Supo.
okay. That's District 5. Okay. What about you? What about you, Satar? What's your barangay number? Satar, barangay number. Okay. So, governor or city mayor may prepare a consolidation plan for barangays. Okay. Barangay officials. 1 punong barangay, tapos ilang kagawad. 7 sangguini ang barangay members. Tapos meron din tayong SK. SK chairman, isang barangay secretary, isang barangay treasurer. Alam niyo yan. Lagi niyong nakikita sa kanto yan. Nakabalandra yung mga pangalan nila. Okay. Persons in authority. Diba? Punong barangay, sangguniang barangay, lupong tagapamayapa, these are the people in charge of keeping the peace and order in our barangay. Okay? Okay. Economic structures. Okay. Pakibasa na lang to ha. Pakibasa na lang to. Yung monopoly, perfect competition, economic structure. Pakibasa na lang yan. Okay, pakibasa na lang yan mamaya bago tayo umalis. Okay, bago tayo. Socio-cultural structures, madali na lang yan, tsaka political trends. Always remember that in the Philippines, barangay is the basic unit of a political system. It's a perfect example of how politics work in the Philippines. Okay, ano ba yung monopoly? Sino may familiar din sa politika? Monopoly, ito. Monopolistic competition. Yung wala siyang kalaban. For example, si Maynilad. Malapit na siya. Monopoly ba yun? Hindi. Kasi meron tayong, ano ba yung kalaban ng Maynilad? Manila Water.
Manila Water.
Manila Water. Meron tayong ganyan. Kung may Globe, may Smart, may Dito, ano pa ba? May Converge, may Globe, ano pa? Oligopoly.
TNT, Cherry.
Okay, so ito pinapaalala ko ha, pakisagutan, long quiz, performance task, long quiz 1, long quiz 2, written work 1, performance task 1. Dalawa na yung long quiz, meron na tayong written work, tsaka 2 performance task. Okay, naintindihan ba yung reminders, Yasin? Yasin, naintindihan yung reminders?
Papa.
Okay, sige. So after nitong lesson natin, if you still have time, please answer the remaining exercises. Para pagpunta natin sa week 7, ay maayos na. Sagutan niyo na yung 2 long quiz. Okay, so kung wala na, thank you for attending our class. Beatrice, yung attendance
Opo, sir.
lagay mo ng date tsaka ng pangalan ko tsaka ng subject. Okay?
Opo, sir.
Okay,
Opo,
okay. Okay, sige. Good afternoon, everybody. See you again next week. Bye-bye. See you next week. Bye-bye.